So I'll be taking social issues. How many of you feel that social issues only means that you have to just talk about women, you have to just talk about caste, and your thing is done? We have a lot of students coming to us, and whenever we have counseled them along with their answer scripts, they always say, "Ma'am, society में तो यही है, women डाल दो, caste डाल दो, हो गया काम." Is it so? So what do you mean by society actually? Society is you people. Society is institution. Society is social structure. It's not only women, it's not only caste, but everything. Okay? So we'll be talking about how to approach social issues when you see them in the current affairs, how you should adopt a multidisciplinary approach when it comes to each and every section, right? Okay. UPSC preparation, social issues, yes, they do carry a lot of stakes. How? Paper 1, society. You are part of it, how can you just not know it? You always say, no, that what are the sources, from where do we do social issues from? It's all in you. Paper 2, governance and social justice. Every act, every policy, every judgment has an implication on society, people. So again, if you're not knowing social issues or society in totality, your answer would not be complete. Okay? Paper 1, paper 3. Paper 3 talks about economy, technology, all such stuff. Economy, growth किसके लिए कर रही है country? For development. For not only growth, monetary growth. For social development, inclusive development. Technology, if it's being developed, it's done for what? To ease the life of the people. ऐसे भी आया था ना? On technology, what was the topic? Yeah. Okay, so now we are seeing that every paper, almost every paper has societal aspect. Paper 4, very, very important. You will every year find a case study since 2013 which is asking you about the social issue, right? You are aiming to become a civil servant. कोई पुलिस बनना चाह रहा है, कुछ IRS बनना चाह रहा है. If someone is aspiring to become an IRS, what will he do? Corruption. Corruption again is a social issue, social problem. Convinced? Paper 1 this time, 2015 and 14, UCC, poverty, adverse sex ratio, annihilation of caste, smart cities, if it was asked from rural-urban integration, secularism debates, they are all part of society. Paper 2, Kha Panchayats, UCC, again, freedom of speech and expression, socio-cultural hurdles for SHG in rural areas. They are all part of society. If you are not understanding society, you cannot answer the questions in totality. Paper 3, jobless growth, demographic dividend, digital India, capitalism, society, touching the aspect of society. You have to bring in some of the other aspect to make your answer more realistic, right? Paper 4, again, lot of case studies, lot of 10 markers like discrimination and preferential treatment, social values versus economic values. In 2014, attitude towards social problems, sexual violence, they are all pertaining to society, aren't they? So how do we approach social issues? When you come across a news, I'm not saying that if you're reading about, suppose, Sabrimala issue, which is a hot burning topic these days, or 2 days back, a Dalit student died. Okay. So how do you have to approach that issue? First thing, you need to understand the underlying social problem. Secondly, any judicial pronouncement, judgments become very important, because I'm not saying that in society or social issues you only have to deal with societal aspects. Your arguments should be objective. Your arguments should be based on judicial pronouncements. Your arguments should be based on government opinion. Your arguments should be based on the measures that need to be taken to bring a change in that issue or society as a whole, right? So when you're making notes, you have to first see the main reason, the underlying notion, the underlying social problem. Second, stand of judiciary. If the views of Supreme Court and High Courts are conflicting, then you should know both of them. Stand of the government. Then stand of the affected, all the stakeholders in the society. Who are they? First, who are the stakeholders?
Family, individuals.
Okay.
Civil society.
Civil society.
Industry.
Okay.
Academy.
Okay. And then comes the most difficult part, how to balance. How should you see any issue which is coming in the newspaper? Exactly. And if you will be just seeing the things from this perspective, your conclusion would always be objective, would always be aligned. Otherwise, if you will keep on reading Hindu articles or EPW magazine, you will be more tilting towards either feminist stand or a completely judicial stand. You have to have a very balanced opinion, right? Any doubts in this? Do we move forward? Do we take the issue first? Now, this is one issue which is there in our current affairs, December magazine, religious freedom and Supreme Court's recent decision on Archak's appointment in temples. See, when you're reading any editorial or news relating to it, what you have to see, going by that framework, the whole issue is regarding what? That our temples or religious organizations have the right to manage their own affairs, or are they curtailing the rights of different sections of society? So the conflict here is between right to equality and right to freedom of religion. Okay? Now from prelims point of view, what you have to see is this. If any question would come in prelims, these articles would become very important. Article 14, Article 15, Article 25 to 28. But in this case, particularly 25 and 26. Right? Now the whole issue. What happened was actually in 1971, the Tamil Nadu government brought an order which, although abolished the concept of hereditary appointments, but they opened the door to become, for all the castes to become priests. Now priest is one thing which is related with the fundamental aspect of religion. He should belong to only Brahmin caste, the traditional notions. He should be pure. When purity, impurity concept comes, then women are also involved in it. Okay? So this order they had passed. Now in 1972, in the Sishamal case, what happened is that the temple authorities, they filed writ petitions against this order. What they asked for is that every religion or every philosophy should have its own right to manage its own affairs when it comes to religion. So Article 25 and 26, the judiciary upheld, right? Then in 2002, the Adityan case, the Supreme Court again reversed that order and said that there is no justification for insisting that persons of a particular caste only can conduct temple rituals. In 2006, again on that basis, Tamil Nadu issued fresh orders which again reinstated that position. What was that? That there should be, that the temples should be open to all. Why I am giving you such background? Because if you are appreciating these judgments, any question which would come in paper 2, you are familiar with these. Okay? May 2015, Supreme Court reserved the judgment, and in December 2015, Supreme Court again came with this order that priests can be appointed only as per the Agam sects. What are Agamas? It's there in the current affairs booklet as well. They are the treaties, religious treaties or law books, which talks about who can conduct rituals, who can become priests, where, on what grounds temple should be constructed, etc., etc. Right? Now, what is important in this issue is that the grounds on which judiciary has laid down its judgment, will they violate Article 14, 15 and 17, or it does not violate? So if a question, if it would come on these issues, right? So what do you think? That appointing priests belonging to a particular agam or sect or denomination, is it violative of Article 14 and 15 or 17? What are your views? It is.
But according to their rule, like again, it's mentioned there they shouldn't be because every religion has their own
Okay.
rituals.
But as a progressive society, we must see future aspects. Like what is written is not universal or fact. Like it cannot be broken. If there was sati, there was devdasi. They have been broken. So we must be progressive, like equality and no discrimination.
Okay.
That is the whole issue of Sabrimala also.
Okay, yeah, right.
Even
Hmm.
everyone is
Good,
Yeah.
good, good.
So we cannot give the logic that traditionally what is being going on, it must be followed. The Supreme Court also ruled that in Sabrimala, this logic hold no ground that what is being going
But
on
this,
traditionally.
the judgment in this case is particularly reinstating again this fact that religion does have, or faith does have, its own say when it comes to managing its own religious affairs. It's opposite to what it said in Sabrimala. Although Sabrimala judgment has not come till yet, but then it's a completely different stand, right? Okay, how many of you are appreciating the fact between the difference between the caste and the denomination? What do you mean by denomination and what do you mean by caste? Yeah.
Within the caste too, there are several denominations like say
No, that is subcaste. Denomination is a clan. It's a group from whom any member takes the follows that rishi or sage. Okay, gotra. What you call gotra is denomination. So be very clear on this, that Supreme Court in this judgment has not talked about caste but right of the denomination to manage its own affairs. This is very important. That's why the Supreme Court could say that it is not violative of Article 14, 15 and even 17.
Means they are maintaining the sanctity of a particular
Yes.
denomination and not the going toward the caste.
Sorry?
Caste is, they are not targeting the caste.
They are not targeting caste, they are talking about the denomination. Okay, that particular denomination, there is a doctrine called essential religious practices, which Supreme Court has again re-emphasized that every group has a right to manage its own affairs. They can make their own rules. However, the scope of who would determine what constitutes essential religious practices, Supreme Court has taken the onus in it. And that is again calling for, you can say, judicial overreach, and there is a new term related to it. When judiciary becomes papa or judges become papa, it's judicial papism. Okay? So, all about this.
Doesn't it seem that it is bending the rules or like finding the loopholes?
Yes, they are. See, that's what, no, there is no check on judiciary.
Yeah.
There is no check on judiciary. It gives different stands in case-to-case basis, right?
I only hope that in future it will be.
Yeah. So,
Ma'am, in this case, when you will right answer it,
I'm just talking
we
about.
have to abide by what judiciary is saying. I mean,
We'll come to that. First, how it is not violative of Article 14, 15 and 17. First, that it not only non-Brahmins but all Brahmins other than the particular denomination are barred. That's why the Article 14, 15 and 17 does not apply. Second, when it comes to giving freedom to manage the affairs of religion, this judgment is not violating Article 25 and 26. Third, there is a provision under Article 16 clause 5 which says that whenever one is dealing with matters of religious affairs and denomination, it would not violate Articles 14 and 15 again. 14 and 15 should not be read separately but in consonance with Article 16 clause 5. Last, as exclusion is not on the basis of caste, class or caste and class, that's why it's not violative of Article 17. But then how does it violate Article 14, 15 and 17? Does it talk about that women can become priests? No. Does Agamas talk about that women can ever become priests? Does Agamas talk ever that a person belonging to every caste can become a priest? No. Second, freedom to religion is restricted to those who cannot offer the prayers. So these are some nitty-gritties where you can just fit in that how it actually violates, because as he rightly said that there are loopholes in the judgment which calls for that the judiciary is seeing a particular case when it comes to religion in a different light. As we saw that Sabrimala inclination of Supreme Court is entirely different when we are seeing this judgment. Okay? What are the other broad fault lines when you are reading religion and equality? You need to know about what do you mean by secularism. Is India a secular country? Yes. On what basis our secularism is defined? Sarvdhar Sambhav. Then this doctrine of essential religious practices, you should know. Who defines its scope? The judiciary itself. Then what I talked about, judicial papism or judicial encroachment is clearly seen in this case. Okay? And the other examples which you can fit in is Santhara, Jallikattu as well as Sabrimala, and then who can be a priest, who cannot be a priest, on what grounds a temple can be constructed. The height of the idol sometimes in some cases is also decided by judiciary. This all calls for judicial encroachment.
Recently, judgment on Jallikattu can be connected with this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. See, when you're reading any article pertaining to religion and right to equality, you have to link the other themes which you have studied. Then only any answer could become comprehensive. But otherwise, it depends upon the type of question asked by UPSC, that what you have to write, what you don't have to write. But agamas per se would not be asked. If any question would be framed, it would be framed in a very broad manner. Okay?
How can we classify these things as a judiciary enforcement? Because this problem lies in the things like preserving the individual right versus the collective right, collective religious right. So suppose let's take an example of Sabrimala. So in the Article 28, there is a provision that state won't interfere in the case of managing religious institutions, whatever they are doing, unless this religious institution is totally dependent on the state. So in one hand there is judiciary can
Intervene?
intervene in this case, and on other hand
It cannot.
it cannot.
And what about PILs?
Sorry.
What about PILs?
So in the Sabrimala case, so that's I'm saying, it is all about the preserving the individual right versus the collective religious right.
See, to bring about any complete social change, the call should come from the people themselves. Every group should come together, and then only any judgment given by Supreme Court can be comprehensive. Otherwise, if Supreme Court is only taking care of any particular denomination, if Supreme Court is only taking care of any particular group, I am not indulging into any controversy here. Okay, Sabrimala issue is also related to an NGO being associated with it. Okay. Women themselves have not come and filed the petition. That PIL was filed by the NGO, right? So that's what I said, that the balanced conclusion or to see this issue should be that any change which has to be brought in the society should come from within and not from particular section or particular NGO or civil society. Okay? And if Supreme Court is giving respect to any one particular group over the other, it would be termed as judicial encroachment. Okay?
It's all about balancing these two.
Yes, balancing. It would depend on case to case. That's what I said. See here, Supreme Court is giving favor to a particular denomination on the basis of essential religious practices, the doctrine of essential religious practices. But in Sabrimala issue, the Supreme Court is becoming more pro-women. Okay, so it depends on case to case. That's how you have to write in the answer. By lifting the examples, you have to justify that where judiciary cannot be called as judicial overreach, but only judicial activism and not judicial papism. All these things you have to illustrate. You have to give examples to justify your argument. Okay?
And one more thing, in case of Ram Mandir movement, whichever is going on, will this come under this judicial overreach?
I don't want to comment on that.
It's because the judgment has not come. That's why we are not.
That's what. Domestic violence. Domestic violence has been asked by UPSC, so we cannot just leave it as such. It was asked in 2009. What was the question? That what are your views on the features and impact of Domestic Violence Act 2005? What are your views on the features and the impact of Domestic Violence Act 2005? So, how to balance such an answer? What are your views on Domestic Violence Act? How much impactful has it been?
Till now, domestic violence has not covered the after marriage violence.
That pertains to marital rape.
So those kinds of clause should be in the domestic violence.
But how would you just see any issue? If you come across any editorial, how would you again see? You don't have to go here and there and divert your focus. You have to be very concerted in your approach when you are reading any issue. The thing is, first I said that the underlying problem. What is the underlying problem which has called for an act like Domestic Violence Act 2005?
Violence going on against women.
So what are the social reasons behind it? Again, patriarchy, you will say, women as weaker sex. Second, because of lack of education and employment opportunities, women are always seen as dependents. Okay. Third, but upbringing. Usually parents say, no, जितना हो सके झेल लो, एक ही बारी तो थप्पड़ मारा है, ठीक है. And dowry and sharing of okay, so if you have to segregate between what are the problems faced by rural women and urban women, if we are saying that urban women are educated and financially independent, can we say like this that they are not victims of violence? Then what are the reasons? Because UPSC has asked, no, the problems faced by working middle class women. The reasons. See, if women are educated, what kind of violence do they go through? If they are going for jobs, just be very realistic. Work harassment. Second, infidelity. Possessive husbands होंगे अगर वो बोलेंगे किसका फोन आया था, WhatsApp. All these are issues which are leading to divorce. Yes, I am not joking. ठीक है. Then what else?
Career-wise, they are not given a lot of promotion. Career-wise.
Okay. और रूरल वुमेन की क्या प्रॉब्लम्स होंगी फॉर डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस? अल्कोहलिज्म, इलिटरेसी, निगलेक्टिंग चाइल्ड तो अर्बन वुमेन के केस में भी होगा. निगलेक्टिंग इन लॉज, निगलेक्टिंग हाउस होल्ड वर्क. That if they are going for work and child is neglected, husband would say, no, यार तू कैसी माँ है, देख ही नहीं रही है, हमारा बच्चा है, किसी और का तो नहीं है. ठीक है. So all such things. So infertility is also one of the biggest cause when it comes to both types of women, urban and rural. Demand for craving for male child mostly happens. ठीक है. Wife swapping is another form of violence which urban women are facing. ठीक है. हाँ. Yeah, it's common because the questions asked by UPSC are very realistic, and it's not that the cases are not being reported. You remember wife swapping case was very famous when one army officer or naval officer had forced his wife to swap with his friends. So yes, you have to. Okay. And what if any case study comes? Then to you have to write. Domestic violence related case study to can come in paper 4. Highlights of the bill, of the act. What kind of abuse? Even threat of abuse also amounts to violence. Physical abuse, verbal abuse, emotional and sexual, economic, emotional. What kind of women are covered under it? All. Behan bhi, maa bhi, beti bhi, every women. Girlfriend also, yes, and live-in partner also. Okay. So what does it do? Right to secure housing. If you are having a live-in partner, you cannot just throw out your live-in partner. The judicial officers do provide you in the act right to secure housing. Okay? She can chuck you out. If she is not, then she'll slap you with Domestic Violence Act. The court can pass protection orders. Okay? Appointment of protection officers. Maximum imprisonment 1 year and a fine of 20,000. Okay? And such things you can just see. What my major concern is that how do you see this problem as? Criticism. When you have to examine this act, because the question explicitly said that what do you think about the features and the impact of Domestic Violence Act? If we were having this act from 2005, are the cases reduced? No. What are the grounds of misuse? More gender biased? See, abuse can be a very subjective term. Even women abuse men. I'm not saying that you have to write this in your answer. Okay. But abuse is a very subjective word. Okay. What if when you get married, okay, your wife is not in a mood to make lunch or dinner, and you say, no, you have to make lunch or dinner, and she says, no, I won't. Again, that would call for emotional harassment, mental violence. She can slap you with Domestic Violence Act. Okay. But the real thing which I want to focus here is that, okay, act to bana diya, but act is for whom? Women. Women, if they are not realizing, if they are not aware enough to how to use this act can be misused to a very larger extent. Has this act percolated down to rural areas? No. The problem lies there itself, that we have not been able to bring awareness about this act amongst women. So the whole purpose or the whole intent of bringing this act, revolutionary act, is defeated. Okay? Delayed justice, judicial system resorting to mediation, all these are criticisms. Any other criticism? I don't want to read from there.
The administrative and executive body at the local level or the state level, there are very less participation of women. So if there are not women in the administrative body,
Okay.
so how
You mean to say insensitivity? They are not women officers more in a greater number. So whenever such cases are reported or women has to go to the police station or any officer, she is only seeing males. Okay.
They also do not respond well.
Okay, yeah.
That's the case in UP,
Hmm.
Mahila Thana Adalat is there.
Hmm.
There is, it is from the central agency. But whenever somebody calls, any women.
You've
they-
heard about this quote, no? औरत ही औरत की सबसे बड़ी दुश्मन है. ठीक है. So all such things you can just write. Not that thing, but the things which are written in the slides. Okay. See, you have to be very sensitive when it comes to addressing the question pertaining to case studies. You have to be sensitive towards the issue. So if any question is asked in the interview regarding from you about this act, you have to be sensitive. You just cannot first say that this act is being misused. You have to prioritize your points. See, every act or any implementation of policy has its own criticisms. Okay? It has some lacuna, but the intention to bring such an act is a very positive. ठीक है? तो ऐसे कर कर you have to balance your answer. Suggestions of way forward, faster delivery honi chahiye, NGOs and civil society should take a call, there should be more awareness campaigns, what else? More women officers. Other than these? Job opportunities. Domestic violence, if you are seeing, you should protest. If you are protesting, you should not resist. Stop it, it is our responsibility. Dowry, another social evil. Yeah, ये तो बहुत famous है UPSC preparation में. Who wants to become an IS officer for? Very common, no? But then you should just not laugh and do not pay heed to such a grave social problem like dowry. Because of dowry only, we have less sex ratio. Because of dowry only, female are seen as dependents, burden. Okay? Because of dowry only, male dominate themselves and do not give voice to women. ठीक है, ये सब चीज़ें तो है मजाक की है, but it is also one of the very grave social evil which we are still facing in this age where women can stand upon their own, they can earn for themselves. ठीक है. Why in news? Because NCRB just released the data and the highest number of dowry deaths were reported from UP and Bihar. This is a very potent social evil which can come in ethics again. It will not come in paper one as such, but in ethics they can ask.
How in ethics?
Case study बन जाएगी ना. Suppose
It is completely crime.
it's a complete crime, yes.
Ethics is somewhere between.
अच्छा मुझे एक चीज़ बताओ, Constitution में, if not Constitution, where in the election provisions this dowry or untouchability is there which debars or disqualifies a member of parliament, RTA Act. Had it not been such a grave social issue, it wouldn't have been there. हाँ, ठीक है. So such things you should always remember. आप बस पढ़ो मत editorial को, you should link that where have you seen otherwise dowry or untouchability or such social crimes which can disqualify the MPs. ठीक है. I will not go into the highlights of the act, ठीक है, but yes, reasons for ineffective implementation. क्यों होता है? Again, mindset. Second, lack of political will. Vicious circle. Accepted custom. And that acceptance, yeah, institutionalized. Such keywords are very important. Stridhan ka concept. Earlier, it was a acceptable thing to give some property or some cash to women because they were dependents. But what about now? Do they require? And if someone is asking for it, is it, should we promote? No. The answer should be plain no. Measures. क्या measures लोगे अगर पूछ लिया interview में? As a civil servant. कैसे change करेंगे इन सब चीज़ों को? You are the change agents. If you have to implement this act, you will only be the change agent, no? How would you just convince the people in your district to bring a change in it? First is awareness. Second, strict enforcement. Third, what about the
There should be education so that they are
okay, education, leading by example, ठीक है, imitation. What else? अगर कोई ले रहा है, naming and shaming का concept you must have heard. Social ostracization. Edutainment का नाम सुना होगा. You should have more plays or theatre in your district to aware people. ठीक है. हाँ, one is group marriages. वो तो state भी promote करता है. What else? बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ आंदोलन में what was the very innovative thing done by Sarpanch from Haryana? Selfie. You should use social media and innovative tools like that to bring in awareness. If such points you are writing in ethics case studies, when they are asking you about measures, you will fetch more points, marks. ठीक है? See, so now do they require any specific studies or specific book? I told you in the very beginning, society is you. You have to decide what course of action you have to take. How would you change your mindset? The answer lies in you. Who will be a donkey? Who will be a donkey? One should not. Okay? One should not. See, it's a very gravest evil. If you are asking from your wife, you will have to give it for your sister. Okay? That is it. Cybercrime against women.
Intercaste marriage is also one of the reasons
Solution? Intercaste marriage.
for the dowry.
वो तो ना थोड़ा exception हो जाएगा. Intercaste marriage. Forms of cybercrime. Crimes against women are also taking different dimensions. It's not only domestic violence but crimes based on technology. ठीक है? Women from rural areas, urban areas, they are all falling victims to it. ठीक है? 5-6 days back there was a news that, or you must be hearing news regularly, that young girls leaving their homes after coming into contact with a male friend in the Facebook or any social platform, and then what eventually happens, either they are trafficked or they are kidnapped. Okay? There are different forms of cyber crimes. I will not explain you much on this. What is again important is the underlying notion. Reasons for the growth of cyber crimes against women, social reasons and legal reasons. Social reasons. The perpetrators of crime feel that women are weak, they will not report, and if crimes like sending obscene mails or MMS, if they are done, they would always shy. Okay? They would not talk to their parents, because if they would talk, the parents would feel कि she must have only persuaded that perpetrator. ठीक है? वो उसका boyfriend होगा. ठीक है? तो all such things.
She has brought the shame.
Yes, she is the one who's bringing the shame. Society, the attitude of society itself. These are the social reasons. What else? Poverty. Yeah, with respect to pornography and trafficking, it does. Yes, yes. So now enough points regarding social reasons. Okay. Have I told you any new point? Are these points were not inside you? They were. So what happens when it comes to examination? कि आपको बस women ही दिखती है, कि बस एक women angle डाल दे, एक elderly डाल दे, हो जाएगा society या socialism. It's not like that. See, the whole paper is very realistic. Be it paper 1, 2, 3 and 4. UPSC is demanding a very ethically sound civil servant. उसके बाद जो वो, that is different. But at least the screening process is very ethical, very realistic now. The questions and the issues which they are asking as a question are very relevant. When you will face the interview, you will get that feel.
Then in social issues, all the underlying problems are the same. I mean, in every case, we can use those things only. So,
See, the underlying problem is that only, attitude of society. Patriarchy. But then I'm not saying that you only have to write these points only. अब अगर मैं ये बोलूँ that social ostracization or naming and shaming are the innovative things which you can have to prevent such things. So you have to have new points. Legal reasons क्या हैं? There are some laxities in IT Act 2002. ठीक है? It's not comprehensively defining all the forms of cyber crimes when it comes to women. ठीक है? Then when it comes to jurisdiction, it does talk about the foreign jurisdiction, but when it happens, there is a crime called spoofing. Spoofing में क्या होता है that one doesn't get to know from where the perpetrator is from. Origin और destination ना बहुत mix हो जाता है. One is not able to find out. तो jurisdiction also the officers get confused. कि किसके थाने में lie करेगा, all such things again. कि किसकी jurisdiction में है, who should take call. क्योंकि अब साइबर है, इंटरनेट है, हर एक स्टेट में तो उसके वो रीच है, तो कैसे, it's not properly defined. Remedies. First, see, women should be cautious. Second, more trained officers, cyber army होनी चाहिए, cyber judges होने चाहिए. At least judges should also be keep knowing about the new developments. Then only they would appreciate. What else?
Social awareness.
Social awareness.
Clearly underlying.
When the perpetrator in itself not know
हाँ.
they are doing wrong, or in itself no kind of framework. What is this they are doing without any repercussion?
Yes.
Very proactive steps from the police state.
Yes.
And
Yes.
there should be a different cell altogether for
Yes.
this.
There are. The current affairs booklet does have that what are the steps taken by the government to look into this issue, and we have cyber crime cells in different states and UTs. There are forensic training and investigation labs. There are awareness programs being taken up by the government, and then there are changes being done in the Criminal Amendment Bill 2013, which also takes into notice such crimes. ठीक है? हुआ था ना ये Criminal Amendment Bill? Women safety cells. Okay. Yes, that too should be there. That too should be there. That is a mandatory criteria under Vishaka judgment also. हाँ, it's there in the Vishaka judgment as well. ठीक है?
One word used by social ostracization.
हाँ, social ostracization means naming and shaming that person whoever is doing that crime. Just isolating him. हाँ, उसके घर पे काली इंक फेंक देते हैं, ठीक है, ये सब naming and shaming. Another topic in current affairs, impact of natural disasters on elderly population. If you remember, last year there was a question on impact of globalization on aged. ठीक है? In the wake of Chennai floods, this has been reported that elderly were not being able to be taken care of properly. ठीक है? So what are the problems? Why they are more vulnerable? And there was a case study this year, right? That if pilgrimage wali, as a person whom would you take out first? All the stakeholders were vulnerable. ठीक है? So if aged are vulnerable, they are vulnerable. Why? Just think. Physically. Second? नहीं, पहले तो physically पे ही आ जाओ. अब अगर यहाँ पर आता है, you would be more swifter, they would be not. ठीक है? If they would be hurt, they would not be able to handle themselves. They are very much dependent. ठीक है? There would be more need of wheelchairs. ठीक है? Weak हैं. तो यही सब तो disaster management में चीज़ें चाहिए होती हैं to have a very immediate response. If there would be more elderly, such things would again we have to see कि किसको दे, बच्चे को दे या aged को दे. ठीक है? अब अगर रेस्क्यू कैंप लग गया है, कहीं पर डिजास्टर हो गया है, देन अगेन दे वुड बी डिपेंडेंस, देयर वुड बी मोर डिमांड फॉर स्टिक्स, व्हील चेयर्स, मेडिसिन्स. ठीक है? मेडिसिन या बैंडेज भी दे कैन नॉट डू देमसेल्व्स, देयर वुड बी मोर नीड ऑफ केयरर्स, नर्सेज. हाँ, स्लो रिकवरी, वेरी गुड. दैट्स व्हाई दे आर वल्नरेबल. व्हाट एल्स? हाँ, दे आर इमूवेबल. ठीक है? दैट्स वाई दे आर वल्नरेबल. हाँ, दैट साइकोलॉजिकल इफेक्ट आफ्टर शॉक्स में बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाता है. वैसे ही दे आर इन देयर ओन वर्ल्ड. ऊपर से एक वो आ जाता है, उनको लगता है बस अभी आया, फिर से आ जाएगा फ्लड. ठीक है? मतलब टेक इन द वेरी लाइट मैनर. आई एम नॉट सेइंग बिकॉज वी वुड ऑल्सो ग्रो ओल्ड, सो वी वुड ऑल्सो हैव दैट आफ्टर शॉक्स. ओके. There was this age index, disaster risk and age index launched by UN during a conference in Sendai. Where is Sendai? Japan में. ठीक है? This risk age index said that India is 28th among 190 countries when it comes to this risk and vulnerability index. ठीक है? और vulnerability they have measured in terms of 3 dimensions: hazard and exposure, vulnerability itself, and lack of coping capacity. Lack of coping capacity. ठीक है. That was all in this elderly wala thing. Indian health state of affairs. You remember there was an essay during 2009 or 10. You don't remember? Health pay, public health pay, haves and have-nots. If we are saying that health should be made a fundamental right or everyone should have access to it, are we not witnessing those who have more money are getting better health services and those who don't have that much money are deprived of it? That is what is Indian health of affairs. Social issues. अब हेल्थ देख रहे हो, एडिटोरियल आ रहा है, you'll only see it from national health policy or NHRM or any vaccine. Would you not remind yourself that what is a social issue behind health? Yes, there are social issues, there are social legume which when it comes to giving access to good health to everyone. One is again gender bias, poor, rich and poor. Women को क्यों देंगे? Caste, उसको क्या ज़रूरत है? Rural urban divide, poverty, infrastructure, lack of infrastructure in rural areas. Doctors themselves are not willing to go. Health is a state subject, yes. Social issues. Again, elderly would become more vulnerable because they would feel, the children do feel, no, कि अभी आने ही वाला है उनका समय, क्या करें उनको मेडिसिन खिलाकर, ठीक है. तो these are the social concerns regarding health. What else? Superstitious beliefs. Yes, that is a very good point. Superstitious beliefs. अभी भी वैद और हकीम होते हैं, वो झाड़ा होता है, ठीक है, कि गांव में they don't go to a doctor. एक तो there you have to have a very long distance to bridge, and then what happens is कि वो तो पास में ही है. What else? किसी को एड्स हो जाता है तो भी ये सुपरस्टिशियस बिलीव होता है, ज़रूर इसने कुछ पिछले जन्म में बुरे कर्म करे होंगे. Yeah, even chicken pox was treated as a superstition. Still, it is still. हाँ, छोटी माता आ गई है. Leprosy, TB, all such diseases are seen in a very low manner, as if that person has done some crime, ठीक है, or he is the evil himself. So such are the social issues which you should think. ये सब तो न्यूज़पेपर में you will have कि क्या क्या implementation lacunas हैं, all those bills, all those policies, but such things you don't poke yourself. And when it comes to case studies, when you have to, they are asking about how you would change the attitude of the people, how would you change the attitude of the society, then you fall short of points. You do fall short of points, right? And then when you come here, you ask ki, what is the book we have to read for all such topics? There is no specific book. You are living with these things. Aren't you living with these things? Can there be a book who would give you the answer? No. You are a part of society, you are living with such things. So what was the issue covered in this current affairs was this journal which talked about the health concerns in India. It's very explicitly given in the current affairs. I need not get into the details. What my point was that since I was taking a social issue topic per se, I should make you aware about how to write, how to create points when it comes to writing socio-cultural or economic reasons or socio-cultural religious reasons, right? Measures to be taken, you can all write, okay? Because we have another session to address and you poor guys are sitting for too long. If you want, I would take up. You want? Okay, measures to be taken to improve health indicators and services. What should be the measures one should take? Infrastructure दे दो, education दे दो, accessibility दे दो, और क्या दे दो? Better use of technology, less discrimination, better health insurance, regulation of private insurance companies as well. What else? Jan Aushadhi program should also be written here. When drugs or out-of-pocket expenditure of a household is very pinching. ठीक है?
And more primary health centers.
More primary health centers.
Initiated by the Tamil Nadu government,
Amma healthcare.
Yes, yes, yes. State promoted healthcare centers where cheap drugs are given.
It should be incentivized by center. Because
Yes, yes. Such incentive indicators or performance basis should be there to reward any state. ठीक है? एक performance linked grants भी होनी चाहिए. कि if some state is working in such areas or such sectors, they should be given more grants. ठीक है?
Incentivization.
हाँ, incentivization.
जैसे in RSBY
Hmm.
there is a scheme for
Yes.
every stakeholders in this.
Now, what were you saying?
Better training of ASHA workers.
Better training of ASHA workers.
Ayush
foreign
complementary.
investment and the private institutions.
Ayush as a complementary to allopathy.
Yes, yes. Ayush and allopathy should go together. One should not say that only Ayush or only such things or only homeopathy. Strict regulation of the untrained doctors.
government and private should go hand in hand.
Yes, yes. ठीक है. अब इसमें तो कुछ पढ़ना ही नहीं है. You all know, you are all such brilliant people who are giving me points. Again, this issue is covered in our current affairs December magazine. Sugamya Bharat Abhiyan. I want to emphasize that don't ignore such pictures when they come in the newspaper. Just see in the accessibility circle, what does it say? Eyes, hands, ears and brain. अब यहीं से आपको points मिल जाएंगे. Visibility impairment, hand, limbs, physical, ear, deaf, brain, mental. Such an easy job, no? हो गया ये. अब what you have to do? अब disability को और specially abled को cater करना है. What do you have to do? Giving them good physical environment. Second, public transport. Third, information and communication. We cannot say that we are not having disabled or specially abled officials in the administration. We are not discrediting anyone who is a member of parliament who is specially abled. So if they have to read the documents, it's the duty of the government to make those documents more friendly to the specially abled in terms of technology. वो braille methods होने चाहिए, ठीक है, learning, talking, वो in yes, all such things is the responsibility of the government. Again, the objective and targets you can remember. What you should know about the schemes already existing in the disability issue. One is the UN Convention which we have signed. Then there was the 1995 Act. Then there is Deen Dayal Disabled Rehabilitation Scheme. Then there is Arunim, which is nothing but a statutory body for marketing products and skill development for such people. Then there are DDRCs, District Disability Rehabilitation Centers. The name says it all, rehabilitation centers. ADIP for fitting of aids or appliances for the disabled people. And then there is one manufacturing corporation of India called Alimco, which exports such equipments to other countries. Okay, all such things you should know. Issues and challenges again faced by specially abled. Why I have written specially abled? Because I don't want to call them disabled. Okay, it's a natural thing which has come to any person. So they are specially abled, not disabled. Even the government has replaced the name of Viklang to Divyang. Okay? So such sensitive words if you are using in your case study again or when you are talking in the interview, this shows your empathetic attitude towards society, more sensitive attitude towards society. Okay? Issues and challenges faced by specially abled, social reasons. They are treated differently. What if their sibling is not specially abled? They will be discriminated. Then they are more vulnerable because they cannot move, or if any impairment is of such nature, especially women and children becomes more vulnerable. What else? Medical expenditure borne by the family also leads to their discrimination and abandonment. What else? Special care needed. Superstition, yes. Again, in the case of leprosy, superstitious beliefs. What
Make
is?
them in itself sufficient by training, by
Sorry?
make them self
These are the
sufficient.
issues है. These are the issues. Measures तो हम बाद में लेंगे ना, पहले तो issues देखेंगे. What else?
Infrastructure is not built for.
Yes, that's why this abhiyan taken up by the government.
They are not in less in numbers, so they are ignored easily by society.
Yes.
Even the government, like ATM centers, there is no particular platform where we check.
Yes. Yes.
Not represented in the.
So, do you require any special book? Any special preparation? Convinced that all such points are there in you. You don't have to prepare for them. Right? Initiatives. Police stations, hospitals, or the most visited things by any common man should be having a very environment friendly infrastructure for them. Police station, hospitals, airports, railways, metros, schools. Okay? Then television programs. See, they have to learn, they have to educate themselves. So such learning aids or teachers should also be given training to teach them properly, especially in government schools. Why to set up a very different school or different university for them? Although the government has taken the initiative to set up a separate university, but we have to do it for each and every school, right? Accessibility index is also government is looking for. Then the term I told you, then separate institute of deaf and dumb persons, development of braille language, more innovations and ICT is needed. That is it.
And there should be like for their jobs, there should be reservations, not only the reservations,
Training, yes. Abhi recently. Actually the issue is that everyone feels that if someone is specially able, they are not having that capacity to do the work. And working actually, if the nature of work is only sitting or taking decisions, does not call for any special ability. Okay? Another grave issue or the social problem is HIV/AIDS.
In PhD, because we are very alien, we are not knowing the complete picture of our understanding of.
Yeah, even we as who all are sitting here, or I, how many of us know what types of impairment is leading to what? We all treat every specially abled as the same, right? So we should also be taught, we should also take keen interest. Whenever there is a person who is traveling by metro or crossing road, we should offer him or her a seat. Okay, such things we should do. Then only change would come. Otherwise, you will only take years and wait for any initiative taken up by either the government or Supreme Court, and then only change would come. No. Any resolvement of any social issue has to lie from within, as I clearly said in the beginning, then only complete change can come. It cannot be enforced. And why do you want enforcement? Why do you want judiciary to take a call? Why do you want the government to take a call? ठीक है? Drills. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I'm getting your point. Yes. Good point. See, also sensitivity should be reflected in your case studies very much, because that's what they are checking. And even in essay, If you are writing such points, they are not checking your knowledge. Are they checking your knowledge? No. What are they checking in ethics? Your knowledge? No. How much you are sensitive, how quick you are when it comes to taking decisions, that who would you save first and who would you not. What happens if your family member is indulging into dowry? What action will you take? What if your colleague you come to know is taking a bribe? What action will you take? All such things are asked, no? So if you're not sensitive, if you're not aligned with society or the issue per se, you will never be able to appreciate that problem and give good answers. Okay?
Ma'am, like you said, there are lots of efforts that has been taken by the government
Huh.
for dealing with the women issues or the especially able persons. The main issues lies within ourselves or in our society. But the things like moreover things that develop in persons over a very long period of time. So how could you rectify this kind of issues within a short period of time?
I'll give you an example.
That's not possible.
I'll give you an
What
example.
is,
I got your point. So he's saying that all these notions are from years. Okay? They have been there in your mindset, in everyone's mindset. How to bring change? I'm saying that if you are seeing, I'll go personal a little bit, if you may allow. If you are witnessing that your mother or father is not letting your sister have to pursue higher education just because they want her to get married, you should take a call. You should stand with her. Problem will resolve. You are a man, no? They craved for a male child. Why won't they listen to their male child?
but this is a specific problem in
Start from your own home, start from your own family, then you bring change in your locality, then you bring change in your district, then you bring change in the whole state, and then you bring change in the whole nation. Be the change you want to see in others. Okay? Okay, HIV/AIDS, we are running short of time. I won't go into the facts. Stigma and discrimination. HIV/AIDS, first notion, she must be a prostitute. She must be a drug user. यही आता है? Every HIV/AIDS inflicted person is seen in that light. Isn't it a social stigma and discrimination? Yes, it is. It is. So, how to curb it, or what are the social issues behind it? HIV, AIDS, no proper health care, discrimination by society, again that superstition. What else? Medical facilities not available. Even lack of awareness is a big problem in this whole issue. It's not diagnosed. When it gets diagnosed, then it's too late. Okay. What else? Yes, yes. Even with the inflicted person and the society itself. One doesn't know, no? How many of you do you check that if you are visiting a doctor, he is taking out a fresh syringe? No, you just trust your doctor. Okay? Yes, yes, but what you're saying, I got your point, but I'm just saying that how many of we do that? When we are hospitalized or our near and ones are hospitalized, how many of you are checking of those things?
In fact, 80% of the cases are reported just because of
Yes,
medical carelessness.
yes. Only sheer carelessness people are inflicted with HIV/AIDS. Would it solve? To some extent, but there are other reasons as well to get inflicted. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, even blades, razors. Agreed. Care is not taken, we are not aware and we are careless, so anyone can get. Okay? It's not a superstition or you have done any wrong in your pichla janam, then only you will be inflicted. All such notions are stupid. Okay? Strategies to reduce sensitivity, awareness, then again street plays, theatres. Sorry?
Affordable Medicare.
Yeah, affordable medical care. Then more sensitive society
films, I think.
through films. Yes, और उन films को tax free कर देना चाहिए, in my opinion. And more good looking actors should be there. No, I'm not joking. If I'm saying that if Katrina Kaif is there and promoting any AIDS movie, how it spreads and all, a documentary, you would watch it.
Even from railway, there is 50% discount on the
Yes.
on the ticket if they are going by train for this treatment.
And there should be a kind of periodic checkup camps.
Yes.
What happens that the people in initial phase
They don't, yes, they don't know. Early diagnosis should be there, should be promoted. It should be the call taken by the government or local health municipalities and such. Residential welfares can also take a call. ठीक है?
Drugs more affordable and
Easily
easily accessible.
accessible,
In
right?
case of rural areas, it's still not discussed and
Yes.
facilities are not available at
हाँ.
all. So it should be done.
Strict measures on reusing of syringes should be.
Yes. Any new point? हाँ.
Telangana, they have made gender education mandatory from
Yeah, everything, मतलब every book should have it. ठीक है? Every school children, colleges should know about such things. Then only we can be not getting into it.
In the public, in fairs, they are
Yes.
the people affected from, they come together
Hmm.
and they directly interact with the general public.
Hmm.
Doctors is also present, so that kind of example presentation.
Yes. And one should not debar anyone from employment. Why one should? There are still such stigmas or issues surrounding when anyone who gets to know that he is inflicted with HIV/AIDS, he is not given employment. ठीक है?
And places of worship, they are not allowed.
Places of worship also, yes, they are not allowed. ठीक है? Social issues will never rest. Please give a thought. They will never take a rest. You only have to do it. You have to give it a thought. You have to take a call, and then only change would come. ठीक है? Any doubt? I hope now your queries are resolved. We are every time, every week, every 3-4 days we get to know. We are asked by students what to read, how to read, what approach should be there. The answer is newspapers and you. ठीक है? चलो, thank you all. Now we'll be having environment and security session.